big breaking news that we broke exclusively here at News9. Climate activist Sonam Wangchuk has been arrested by Ladakh police, team led by DGP SD Singh Jamwal. This is a new update that we are receiving right now. Renowned activist Sonam Wangchuk has been arrested. Details of the arrest are still emerging and authorities have not yet released an official statement. Well, that is the big breaking news that's getting you at this point in time. Days after the protest in Ladakh took a violent turn that claimed the lives of 4 protesters, leaving 80 others injured, climate activist Sonam Wangchuk has been arrested by Ladakh police team led by DGP SD Singh Jamwal. We are breaking this news exclusively here at News9, and this is the new update that we are getting you right now. Renowned activist Sonam Wangchuk stands arrested. We are going to keep you ahead on all the details surrounding on what charges he has been arrested. My colleague Mehraj is also joining me right now. Mehraj, take us through what exactly situation on ground, what Sonam Wangchuk had said, that if he had to be arrested, this would fuel further tension in Ladakh. What is the situation on ground right now?
Well, Samia, it is clear that what Sonam Wangchuk said and what happened in Ladakh, as we have seen that 4 protesters were killed, and many buildings and vehicles were tortured in that violent incident. And after that, MHA clearly mentioned Sonam Wangchuk as the man behind whole this episode, and that is what MHA had done. And this is the priority of any country's defense and home affairs, that any such person who is a threat to the public have to deal according to law and order. And that what is happening, we are seeing happening in Ladakh, as Sonam Wangchuk has been arrested. We can say that Sonam Wangchuk has been arrested in many cases, and yet official details are not clear so far. But we can say that the prior notes, the prior thing we can say is that public safety, we can say, has been kept in mind by the government, and that is what is the priority of government. And according to sources in the LG office, they said that they were trying such step days earlier, and that is why some restrictions and such curfew has been imposed, not only in Leh but in Kargil as well. As we can say that Sonam Wangchuk is a premier figure in Ladakh, as he is main orchestra between the behind this we can say that campaign which is going in Ladakh. And so far Sonam Wangchuk in his speech have clearly mentioned, as he mentioned in last press conference, that it was Gen Z went frenzy, and that was we can say that was a hint towards the security, that was hint towards the administration, that if he gets arrested, maybe situation will get so much out of control. But we are seeing that curfew has been imposed, and we are getting from sources that internet has been totally snatched, which it was not snatched yet. Back to you.
All right, we are telling our viewers right now that my colleague Mehraj has maintained that there has been curfew imposed, and the network, as far as internet lines are concerned, that has also been snapped right now, is what Mehraj is telling me, to try and avoid any untoward incident. Mehraj, kindly stay with us. My colleague Brijesh is also joining me right now. Well, Brijesh, we've just heard what Mehraj was saying, that the government is leaving nothing to chance. They are leaving no stone unturned to ensure that law and order situation doesn't go out of hand in Ladakh as Sonam Wangchuk is arrested. Sonam Wangchuk's statements did look like it's a message towards the Gen Z, to the youth, that if anything happens to him as far as an arrest is concerned, then they should try and take to streets and hold protests, etc. The government has been very mindful and ensured there is first curfew imposed and then he's arrested.
Well, I think, what the government is trying to do is that the government is under pressure to make sure that there is no repeat of what happened a couple of days back. What happened a couple of days back is something which doesn't make any government look good. And this is the reason why the government first clamped down the curfew. Yesterday, I think, when Sonam Wangchuk was talking to news reporters and other people, other media agencies and all, where he went on to say that, jailed Wangchuk is more of a bigger problem for the government than a free Wangchuk, Sonam Wangchuk. So I think, he also had an inkling, an idea of the fact that he can be arrested. And I think, his arrest arrest is to make sure to send a very strong message to the protesters that the government cannot allow any situation to go awry, and also they want to send a message to the protesters that if this kind of situation happens against, irrespective of who you are, you will not be spared. So the government is trying to make sure that this situation doesn't happen again, and this is the reason why they have taken the step of arresting Sonam Wangchuk.
Well, absolutely. As far as the government is concerned, they are trying to ensure that as far as the internet lines are concerned and also the curfew that has been imposed, so that there is no repeat of what happened where 80 people were left injured, 4 others had lost their lives. But having said that, as far as Sonam Wangchuk's arrest is concerned, we are yet to ascertain what exactly led to his arrest, whether it was the FCRA violation or was it the Public Safety Act. We definitely had the government maintaining that it was Sonam Wangchuk solely responsible who had incited the violence, and therefore he cannot absolve himself of any responsibility whatsoever. Brijesh.
I think what we have been given to understand is, or what we can safely assess from the timeline of the event, is the fact that the government has arrested him on the charges that what happened on a couple of days back was something in which Sonam Wangchuk, there was an active participation by Sonam Wangchuk. If you look at the addresses by the governor's office on the day when this widespread violence took place, the governor made it very, very clear that the person which is in the eye of the storm and whose role the government is trying to ascertain as to what exactly has he done and what all has been done by him is none other than Sonam Wangchuk. And the MHA also said that while on one side appealing to the Ladakhis to make sure that this kind of violence is not repeated, the role of Sonam Wangchuk was always under question ever since that riot broke out. We saw the buildings being set on fire, we saw cars being vandalized, and a lot of vandalism took place on the streets of Ladakh. Ladakh is a peaceful state and also a border state, so that makes it very, very interesting, very, very crucial for the government to make sure that the law and order is maintained and the situation doesn't spiral out of control. So I think arrest of Sonam Wangchuk has more to do with that than of FCRA. I think when FCRA has a process, you first cancel the license of the FCRA of the NGO, and then you set up a committee. You also give them time to appear, to explain your position before the concerned revenue officials as to what exactly has taken place, whether there's willing error or there's an inadvertent error which has taken place. So all of that takes time, but I think the immediate ground on which Sonam Wangchuk has been arrested is most likely related to the violence that took place a couple of days back.
Interesting, Brijesh, but I have to draw this comparison. Because Ladakh is a border union territory, we cannot forget what happened in Nepal a few weeks ago. It was again the Gen Z who were taken to streets, and they were initially protesting about how there was a social media ban that was imposed by the government. Over here, we are also looking at how in Ladakh, now the internet lines have been suspended. And again, the clarion call put forth by Sonam Wangchuk was about the Gen Z frenzy bit, like my colleague Mehraj was also maintaining. Do you feel that the government should have thought it through, or is it going to be the calm before the storm?
I would not go to the extent of comparing what happened in Ladakh to what happened in Nepal. These are two completely different situations. What happened in Nepal was something which did not happen on the spur of the moment. There was long-term protest against the kind of corruption that had besieged the kingdom of Nepal, and that is the reason there was a lot of anger against the monarchy. There was a lot of anger against against Oli for his policies, the kind of corruption that was taking place. The fact that he also clamped down and banned several social media sites, which proved to be the immediate trigger as far as violence and later on upstaging of Oli is concerned. But here in Ladakh, the situation was something which was completely different. Ladakh, wherever in India or any other place, whenever there is a violence and there is
all right, Brijesh, I'll have to interject over there. I'm also joined by Mohammad Hanifa, who is a Lok Sabha MP from Ladakh. Mr. Hanifa, thank you for taking our time and joining me here. शुक्रिया हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए यहाँ पे न्यूज़ 9 पे. हम लोग अभी यहाँ पे खबर ब्रेक कर रहे थे एक्सक्लूसिवली न्यूज़ 9 पे कि क्लाइमेट एक्टिविस्ट सोनम वांगचुक को अरेस्ट किया गया है। किन कारणों की वजह से अरेस्ट किया गया है? क्योंकि कुछ दिन पहले वहां पे जो प्रोटेस्ट हुए थे, वहां पे जिस तरह से लोगों की जान गई है, काफी लोग वहां पे जख्मी हुए, घायल हुए, और पूरा प्रोटेस्ट जो है एक तरह से वायलेंट प्रोटेस्ट का रुख ले लिया गया। सोनम वांगचुक को अरेस्ट किया जाता है, ये आप किस तरह से देखते हैं?
सोनम वांगचुक जी का जो अरेस्ट तो आज आप लोगों के थ्रू ही मुझे जानकारी मिली है, क्योंकि कल लेट नाइट में ले से वापस कारगिल आया था। पिछले 2 दिन से ऐसा कुछ माहौल जो है वो बनाया जा रहा था। लेकिन मेरा कहना ये है कि क्योंकि मैं केडीए कारगिल डेमोक्रेटिक अलायंस का भी फाउंडर मेंबर हूँ, केडीए एक ये क्लियर किया है कि इस तरह के वायलेंस, इस तरह के जो कल माहौल जो ले में हुआ है, जो प्रॉपर्टीज को नुकसान पहुंचाया है, इस तरह की चीजों को हमने कभी ना किया है ना सपोर्ट करते हैं। लेकिन कल जो हुआ है, हमारे जो लद्दाख के जो युवा पीढ़ी है, जो यूथ है, जो पिछले कई सालों से बहुत परेशान है, और खासकर जो पढ़े लिखे यूथ है, जो अपने बहुत परेशान है, फ्रस्ट्रेटेड है, उनका फ्रस्ट्रेशन जो है कल कहीं ना कहीं निकल गया। सोनम वांगचुक का जो प्रोटेस्ट है उसको इससे जोड़ना मेरे ख्याल से ये अनजस्टिस होगा। हाँ, सोनम वांगचुक के बाकी जो चीजें हैं, उनके ख्याल में, उनके जो सिग्नल में किस तरह का फंडिंग आ रहा है, फॉरेन फंडिंग आ रहा है, वो इन्वेस्टिगेशन का विषय है। वो हम समझते हैं, गवर्नमेंट उसके ऊपर देखो, जांचो, उसको इन्वेस्टिगेट करो। अगर उससे कुछ गलत पाया जाता है तो उसके ऊपर उसको ये करो। लेकिन आंदोलन जो है सोनम वांगचुक की वजह से ये आंदोलन उठा है, ये सरासर गलत है। सोनम वांगचुक पिछले 2 साल से
की कोशिश कर रहे हैं मोहम्मद हनीफ कि जो मुद्दों पे सोनम वांगचुक ने ये पूरा आंदोलन शुरू किया था, वो मुद्दे जो है वो सही है, वो मुद्दे वहाँ के लोकल और स्थानीय लोगों के मुद्दे हैं, और कहीं ना कहीं वो उन लोगों की आवाज़ बन के सरकार तक पहुँचने की कोशिश कर रहे थे। पर जो तरह से उन्होंने अपने फंडिंग की कोशिश की है, फॉरेन फंडिंग जहाँ तक हो, FCRA जहाँ तक हो, उसके बारे में जितनी भी प्रक्रिया की गई है सरकार की तरफ से, चाहे वो CBI इंक्वायरी हो या शो कॉज नोटिस दिया गया हो, वो सब वाजिब है, वो सही है। बट आप ये कह रहे हैं कि आंदोलन की वजह से अगर सोनम वांगचुक को अरेस्ट किया जाता है तो वो सही नहीं होगा, वो जस्टिस नहीं कहलाएगा। हनीफा
नहीं, मतलब माहौल ऐसा बनाया जा रहा है कि इस आंदोलन को प्रोवोक किया सोनम वांगचुक ने, लेकिन उस चीज को मैं कभी एंडोर्स नहीं करूंगा, क्योंकि पिछले 2 साल से केडीए और एपेक्स के साथ हमारे जो मेन हमारे मुस्तकबिल के लिए वो जो इस आंदोलन से जुड़ा है, हमने डे 1 से हमने कहा है, कोशिश भी किया है कि हम आंदोलन अगर करेंगे, अपना प्रोटेस्ट जब दर्ज करेंगे तो बहुत ही पीसफुली और हमने हमेशा कहा है कि हम बातचीत में बिलो रखते हैं, हम बातचीत के जरिए इस मसले का हल ढूंढ रहे हैं। लद्दाख का जो स्ट्रेटेजिक इम्पोर्टेंट है, हम जानते हैं, इस लद्दाख को अमन रखना, कैसे रखना है, वो हमारी जिम्मेदारी है। सोनम वांगचुक ने पिछले 2 साल में जहाँ तक मैंने को इजाजत नहीं दिया, बल्कि वो तो गांधी के रास्ते से चल के जो है अपना प्रोटेस्ट दर्ज करने की बात किया है। पिछले 2 साल में हमने हमेशा अपने आप को अजाब पे डाल के प्रोटेस्ट किया है। हम अनशन पे बैठे हैं, हम ले से दिल्ली तक हम पैदल चले हैं, लेकिन कभी इस तरह से जो है
दिल्ली तक चले हैं मोहम्मद हनीफा with Sonam Wangchuk. He feels that the issues and the very core of this entire protest that was led and organized by Sonam Wangchuk was valid, were the issues of the people from Ladakh, and he was only trying to spearhead this entire protest by the virtue of being a representative and a voice that can reach the government in Delhi. But the manner in which he was trying to draw in fundings for his organization, for his NGO, that is something Mohammad Hanifa doesn't really agree with. But Mohammad Hanifa is also telling us that as far as the people of Ladakh is concerned, they are not violent in nature. Mohammad Hanifa हमारे साथ वापस जुड़ गए हैं। मोहम्मद हनीफा बता रहे थे कि जहाँ तक लद्दाखी लोगों की बात आती है, वो नेचर के हिसाब से वायलेंट नहीं है। तो क्या आप ये कहने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि कुछ ऐसे एलिमेंट्स हैं जो शायद उस प्रोटेस्ट में घुस के पूरे प्रोटेस्ट को एक वायलेंट प्रोटेस्ट का अंजाम दिए हैं?
कल का जो वायलेंट हुआ, प्रोटेस्ट वायलेंट हुआ, ये हमारे जो यूथ में जो एक जवानों में एक फ्रस्ट्रेशन का शिकार था, वो पिछले कई सालों से रोजगार की वजह से पढ़ लिख के जो है वो कुछ कर नहीं पा रहे थे, उसमें परेशान थे, फ्रस्ट्रेट थे। तो कहीं ना कहीं फ्रस्ट्रेशन जो है वो कल निकल गया। वहाँ पे पुलिस के साथ कुछ झड़प हुआ, वो जो है वो उस हद तक बढ़ गए कि वहाँ पे इस तरह के वायलेंस हो गया। वहाँ पे हमारे पुलिस की तरफ से भी काफी गलतियां वहाँ पे हुआ है। वहाँ ओपन फायर किया गया है जिसका बिल्कुल जरूरत नहीं था, और मजिस्ट्रेट को वहाँ पे पता नहीं था। ओपन टारगेटेड फायर करके जो 4 लोगों को मारा गया है, ये कहीं ना कहीं ये जस्टिफाइड नहीं है। इसके लिए भी मैंने कल एलजी साहब से रिक्वेस्ट किया है कि इसको एक जुडिशियल इंक्वायरी होना चाहिए कि इस तरह के जो फायरिंग से जो है मारा गया लोगों को। बाकी हम केडे और एफएस कभी भी इस तरह की चीजों को हम सपोर्ट नहीं करते, ना आज तक हमने किया है। हमने हमेशा कहा है कि हम जो भी प्रोटेस्ट दर्ज करेंगे हम पीसफुली करेंगे, और हमेशा हमने कहा है कि हम बातचीत पे बिलीव रखते हैं। हम बातचीत के जरिए इस मसले का जो हमारे लद्दाख के जो मुद्दे हैं इसका हल चाहते हैं। तो कहीं ना कहीं पिछले बार जब हाई पावर कमेटी का मीटिंग हुआ था, उसके बाद 1 महीने के अंदर मीटिंग बुलाने का हमें वादा दिया था, उसमें कहीं ना कहीं देरी हुआ। 3 महीने गुजर चुके हैं शायद। ये एक वजह है कि लोगों में एक तशवीश होने लगा कि कहीं ना कहीं हमें इग्नोर किया जा रहा है, डिले टेक्टिक किया जा रहा है। तो ये एक फेस्टेक था हमारे यूथ में। आप अगर पिछले तो हमारे प्रोटेस्ट वगैरह देखें, उसमें हमारे यूथ का पार्टिसिपेशन बहुत कम होते थे, बिल्कुल नहीं आता। कल का जो हुआ ये हम लोग खुद हैरान है कि इतने यूथ जो है वहाँ और उनका फ्रस्ट्रेशन जो है वहाँ पे
मोहम्मद हनीफा, अब ऐसी स्थिति हो गई है कि सोनम वांगचुक अरेस्ट हो चुके हैं। हालांकि लोगों के जो मुद्दे हैं, लद्दाखी लोगों के जो मुद्दे हैं, वो अभी भी बरकरार है। क्या आप गवर्नमेंट के साथ में बातचीत जारी रखिएगा? क्या अभी स्थिति है ग्राउंड पे? हमें बताया जा रहा है कि कर्फ्यू लागू किया गया है, इंटरनेट की लाइन सस्पेंड कर दी गई है। अब अगला कदम क्या होगा? मोहम्मद हनीफा बताइए।
देखिए, ले डिस्ट्रिक्ट के हेडक्वार्टर के आसपास थोड़ा वो लोग एहतियाती तौर पे ये कुछ कर रहे हैं। अदरवाइज बाकी पूरे लद्दाख में बहुत ही शांति है, बिल्कुल सिचुएशन, कोई ऐसा प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। बातचीत का सिलसिला अभी 6 तारीख को होम मिनिस्ट्री ने डेट निकाला हुआ है। हम बातचीत में ही बिलीव रखते हैं। हम चाहते हैं कि बातचीत के जरिए हमारे मसले का हल हो। खासकर यहाँ पे डेमोक्रेसी की बहाली बहुत जरूरी है यहाँ पे, क्योंकि डेमोक्रेसी यहाँ पर कहीं ना कहीं खत्म हो गया है, जिसकी वजह से यहाँ पे सुनवाई नहीं होता है, तो इस तरह की चीजें निकल के आती हैं। 370-35 से खत्म हुआ तो हमें हमारे प्रोटेक्शन वगैरह खत्म हो गया। उसमें हम क्योंकि ट्राइबल है, हम कोई और चीज नहीं मांग रहे हैं। हम अपनी संविधान ने जो हमें दिया है वो हमें हम मांग रहे हैं। लेकिन हम चाहते हैं कि बातचीत के जरिए, हम ये भी जानते हैं कि एक दिन में, एक मीटिंग में हमारे मसले हल हो जाएंगे। हम चाहते हैं कि बातचीत शुरू हो और एक अच्छे माहौल में सीरियसली जो है लद्दाख के मुद्दों के ऊपर बातचीत शुरू हो, और कहीं ना कहीं एमएचए और लद्दाख के लीडरशिप किसी न किसी नतीजे पर पहुंचे, ये हम चाहते हैं।
जी शुक्रिया मोहम्मद हनीफा, लोकसभा एमपी लद्दाख से। शुक्रिया हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए और अपना मत सामने रखने के लिए। Well, let us also listen in to several reactions that has come in where government had held Sonam Wangchuk responsible for inciting mob with his provocative speech, dismissing the claims. Wangchuk had said that he is ready to be arrested, but warned that jailed Wangchuk will create more problems than a free Wangchuk. Let's listen in first.
मुझे वैसे भी ऐसे खबरें आती गई बहुत अच्छे सूत्रों से कि आपके खिलाफ पब्लिक सेफ्टी एक्ट का केस बनाया जा रहा है ताकि आपको 2 साल के लिए बिना जांच के, बिना बेल के जेल भेजा जा सके। तो आपको डर है कि आपकी गिरफ्तारी? बिल्कुल डर नहीं है, मैं बिल्कुल इंतजार कर रहा हूं। बल्कि मैं ये सोचता हूं कि न्योता देंगे पुलिस को, क्या है आपको गिरफ्तार? बिल्कुल देंगे, क्यों नहीं देंगे। जब वो चाहें हमें गिरफ्तार कर सकता है। मैं सोचता हूं कि मेरे जेल में होना देश को ज्यादा जगाएगा मेरे बाहर होने से।
We've heard what Sonam Wangchuk had to say before he was jailed. My colleague Brijesh Pandey continues to be with us. Brijesh, we've just heard what Sonam Wangchuk had to say. He says, "मैं इंतजार कर रहा हूँ," because Public Safety Act is something that he feels was a case being made against him, that he's going to be made a scapegoat out of it. It is almost like he's trying to challenge the government on that front. what do we make of the kind of warning that he has issued to the government, and where does this message percolate as far as people of Ladakh is concerned?
Well, I think, the writing was there on the wall on the dates of the day of the violence itself. When the governor's house, denouncing the violence which took place in Leh, also went on to question a role of Sonam Wangchuk in it. And the next morning, we also saw certain, source-based information from Ministry of Home Affairs as well, where they put the scanner on the role of Sonam Wangchuk as far as the violence which took place in Leh was concerned. So the writing was on the wall, and Sonam Wangchuk just read it, much before anybody else could. He realized that he's under the scanner. He realized that he could be arrested soon, and that is the reason, he went on to say that he's being made a scapegoat. He also went on to say that a jailed Sonam Wangchuk will be more detrimental for the government rather than a free Sonam Wangchuk. So it was clear to him, going by the tone and tenor of the governor's house of Ladakh as well as the Ministry of Home Affairs. Now, the bigger challenge for the government is, that as a precautionary measure vis-a-vis security, they have suspended the internet. They have appealed to the people for calm, and but the real challenge for the government is what next? What will happen after Sonam Wangchuk has been arrested? Because the real issues which is driving these protests and all are two: demand for statehood, chances of which is very unlikely, and also inclusion of Ladakh in Schedule 6 of the Constitution. Now, what all mechanism does the government of India comes up, and what are the things which the government of India has to offer to the people who are protesting there in Ladakh is something which has to be seen and observed very closely, because now it has become a very, tricky situation post the arrest of Sonam Wangchuk.
Rajesh, we just spoke to Ladakh's MP, Mohammad Hanifa, and very categorically he maintained that, look, the issues that were raised by Sonam Wangchuk were valid questions. And that is the reason why this entire Andolan, or this entire protest, was a legitimate protest. Having said that, we will try and get our viewers all the updates on this front as far as Sonam Wangchuk's arrest is concerned, keeping our viewers ahead with my colleagues Mehraj and Brijesh Pandey, getting us all the updates and details.